over. An epic game 3. And Southside are through to their third grand final in 4 seasons. Reed swoops on the crown with massive basket.
3. You are kidding me.
And the fire burned brightest. Townsville are WNBL champions for the 4th time.
It's a doubleheader in the Harbour City with some extra significance. The Sydney Flames and the Perth Lynx, 3rd versus 5th on the Cygnett WNBL table, and the race for the top 4 only continues to heat up. Welcome to Qudos Bank Arena. Liam Ellison and Zoe Carr with you on the call. And Zoe, this is going to be a very special afternoon.
Absolutely. I'm so proud to be here and to be a part of this Pink Hoops round. And you know, it's such a special occasion that both teams are really going to want to make sure they put their best foot forward.
Both sides in the pink warm-up tops and the Flames in the specialised pink jerseys, of course, raising funds for the McGrath Foundation today. And this one developed by Tiana Mungakahia, who is a much-loved member of the Hoops Capital family and now assistant coach for the Flames as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those incredible things when you can see somebody going through some personal challenges of their own and they turn it into good for others or for the world, and that's exactly what she's doing and what the Sydney Flames are doing by partnering with the McGrath Foundation and trying to raise money and awareness. So it's just fantastic, and those pants are elite.
They are. They're fantastic. And look, it is really inspiring what she's done and what Sydney have done as well. Of course, the goal today, $40,000 raised, and 250 specialised breast care nurses by 2025, of course, in partnership with the McGrath Foundation.
Yeah, and it's not unachievable. I think if, you know, the amount of support that the WNBL has and that women's basketball has across the country and across the world now with the WNBA app. So, you know, I don't think it's a stretch, and I think we should be able to beat that target.
It's the second year that we've had the pink game and the first time that we'll have a double header with the Sydney Kings as well after this. Let's look at how things are shaping up on the ladder coming into your Sunday doubleheader. 2 wins separating Sydney and Perth, Zoe.
Yeah, this is a really big game for the Flames. You know, they're looking to try and bust into that top 4. They are a game behind both on the wins, but also a game ahead in terms of games played. So every game for them is really important now if they want to try and, you know, push into that top 4. The Lynx have had a bit of an adjustment period with McDonald out, but they're just trying to work their way through, figure out life without her, and once she comes back, then be able to roll through into finals.
Has been a big adjustment. She was second in the league scoring, Aari McDonald, under 19 points per game, an MVP candidate, and this is how the Sydney Flames will line up coming into this afternoon. Tess Madgen, he is back into the starting 5, returning from injury.
Yeah, and you saw, anyone who's seen the little halftime package that's been about the Pink Hoops so far on any of the other games that we've had in this round, you see what Tiana means to Tess Madgen, so she'll be chomping at the bit to step into this starting role and to really make sure they grab the win tonight.
Absolutely, a cause that's important to her, and terrific to see that she is fit and firing, ready to go for the game this afternoon. This is how the Lynx will line up. Life without Aari McDonald has started with a couple of road bumps, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's always a marquee player comes out of your lineup. It's always going to be an adjustment, especially, you know, when she was leading points, leading facilitator, she was doing it all. So she needs to, the team's just taking their time to figure out who they are without her. I think Atwell will look to step up in this game, and, you know, she's leading point scorer at the moment, but she's going to look to try and facilitate a little bit more as well and try and find other players into the game so they can get a bit more of a scoring load or a scoring spread to make them harder to guard. We know that they put on points quickly. They're the highest points per game in the league, but they're also the highest points against in the league. So they're going to have to really lock down at the defensive end if they're going to have a chance of stopping the Flames tonight.
They certainly are a fast-paced team, the Perth Lynx, when they're up and running. And we know they love to let it fly from 3. When you've got the likes of Amy Atwell, Mila Goodchild, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, and one of the great things I love from Coach Petrick is he gives them that license. So, you know, he's not yelling at them if they take that shot and it misses. He's saying, okay, take the next one, which is great. Gives that sort of freedom and that confidence, and that's why they shoot as well as they do.
They've scored over 90 points in 5 of their last 7 games. But the Sydney Flames have worked their way into this season nicely, and they are going to be tough to beat today on their home deck here at Qudos Bank Arena for Pink Round. And don't those jerseys just look terrific?
Fantastic. And, you know, I love the way the WNBL gets involved in initiatives and things like that, and taking it a step further with the uniforms is just fantastic.
Here we go. It'll be George and Emily Potter to contest the tip. And we will reset. Here for Pink Round, a double header in the Cygnett WNBL on your Sunday arvo. And we're away. The Flames have won it down for first possession here. And Bradley with the rock. George, top of the arc. Now down low, back to Kayla George. She goes to work in the post for the first 2 for Sydney.
And a great first look from the Flames there to go straight at Kayla George early. If they can get her firing into the game, we know what she can do points-wise, but once they then try and lock her down from a points perspective, then they've got to stop her passing.
Atwell muscles it up and in. Great response for the Lynx. Bradley attacking Chibatoni. Nice find, Imagine in the corner. Open, drains it for Sydney.
Flames are feeling it early. They want, you can tell, you can feel the vibe of it. They want this game, not only for a finals perspective, but because of the occasion.
3rd game back from injury for Tess Madgen. First into the starting 5. After playing 7 minutes on Friday night, Atwell pulls the trigger and gets the call. 3 shots to come for Amy Atwell.
And the Flames just looking to try and get over the top of those screens you see there, but just Tess Madgen getting a little caught up. Kayla George did a great job of coming out because you have to contest that, but just clipped her a little bit and has now sent her to the line.
A tough cover is Atwell. First one rattles out. Averaging 23 points per game over her last 6, Atwell. It's only got better as the season's gone on with their new club. And she goes 2 of 3. Richards inbounds to Bradley. Running point on this possession for Sydney. Again, George, top of the arc. Madgen on the wing. George cutting to the block. She'll turn and fire. Mid-range 2 won't go. Maley with her first rebounds. Potter, high post, backing down George, and good on the left hand.
That's a great job from Potter there, just to be able to spin, keep the ball high and use her length, play above the rest of the game to be able to score that.
Nicholson slashing through, and the jump ball call. Clean hands from Steph Gorman. Has been a good opportunity for Gorman, hasn't it, in absence of McDonald?
It really has. She's a really exciting young prospect. You know, she was a Vic Country junior and then went off to college and has come back and has really stepped into the WNBL almost seamlessly. The way she can shoot the 3, you know, especially in this team with the license that they're given, it makes her really dangerous.
Potter with back-to-back buckets, extending that Lynx lead. Richards off the dribble. Now it's George again. Involved in everything early. Nicholson tripped up and a foul call.
And that's a really hard action to guard, that little split away game. So they hit Kayla George in the high post, screen away, and look to get a post paint threat. So they cut hard on the rim. That's really hard to guard. And as you can see, picks up the foul. Now, obviously, you'd prefer the layup, but fouls are also useful, you know, as the game goes on.
Fresh 14, the Flames. Kick out to George. Madgen. She's going to fire just off on the 3. Here's Maley. He's with an early lead. Trying to cross up Richards. Lost her footing momentarily. Here's Atwell. Opts to put it on the deck. Now the 3 will go up, and not that time for Gorman. Nicholson. George. Thought about the triple. Now it's Bradley around the pick. 10 seconds. Richards in the corner. Hand off to Magin. She's attacking baseline. George stepped out of bounds.
That is such a shame. The ball went through so many sets of hands there, shifted sides of the floor, went inside, went outside. Yeah, a real shame that that wasn't able to come off, because there was probably about 3 open shots in that possession that they all gave up to try and get a better shot.
They didn't do too much wrong there, did they? Gibertoni, entry pass. Magin came over to help and did well. The stop for Sydney. Nicholson opting to push the pace. Does well to find Magin. She's attacking straight down the lane. Rattles out. Unlucky for the Flames. Gorman, hand off. Maley. No good that time. Nicholson, chance to take a deep breath for the Flames. George probing, attacking Potter, and again it rattles out. Just won't go down at the moment, Zoe.
It's almost like the old glad wrap over the rim at the moment.
It really is.
Yeah, hopefully they settle into the game a little bit more and the shots will start to drop.
Just a bit of bad luck for Sydney as Potter.
But Sydney needs to make sure they don't get caught in an up and down foot race with Perth. That's how they like to play. So they need to slow them down, get low possession games, and just, yeah, don't allow them to get feet in the paint early and then hit all the open shooters in transition.
Fairly in control at this early stage. Richards. Nicholson around the pick.
Beautifully executed too. And as we said, if you just stay with it long enough and get good shots long enough, they'll start to drop.
The first 2 of the game on her first attempt. Atwell rolling to the bucket as Potter met immediately by Magin. Good defence.
It's outstanding defence for Magin there to be able to meet Potter early and just wall up and be there and be annoying.
Nicholson around that George screen straight down the lane. Back-to-back buckets for Loss.
Sydney's starting to feel like they're getting their groove a bit. They're getting high percentage shots whenever they want. So Perth are really going to have to lock down defensively, make some adjustments, be a little more proactive, and keep Sydney out of the paint.
Magin's defence here early days has been lifting Sydney. She's going to take an early break. Deflecting it out of bounds that time. Guy Malloy's happy with her work. He's Goodchild off the pine. Emma Clark out there for the Flames. 5 seconds. Gibertoni's got to go here. Hesitates and gets to the rack just in time.
It's such a good example of just a change of pace. You know, going quick, then slowing it down, standing the defenders up and attacking the rim.
Richards, pull up 2. Both sides trading buckets and trading the lead here early days. Troy card. Outwell. Zigzagging through the middle, and now they'll let it fly from 3. Mackenzie Clinch Hoycard, her first bucket.
And she has been doing that for as long as I can remember. WA Country Junior at Nationals, and we saw a lot of that 3.
Kayla George fires back. Only a turnover down here it is as Richards puts it down. And they punish the Perth error. 3-point ball game here. 6 minutes gone in the first quarter. Gibertoni working hard on Bradley. Atwell had her feet set. Richards recovered. She's going to let it fly, Atwell. Only Maley on the offensive glass, so a fresh 14. Tried to rip through and drive, and the foul call first.
And whilst the foul's not ideal, I like the intent. It's, you know, they're not allowing Atwell to dictate what she wants to do. They're making it difficult for her. Yeah, okay, you'll pick up a couple of fouls playing that way, but if you can make everything, Atwell's going to score, but if you can make everything difficult, now all of a sudden it goes a long way to winning the game for the Flames.
Perth basketball. Holly Forster out there. Maley with the rock. Richards with 1 foul defending. And Maley puts it up and in.
It's a tough finish over a contested hand.
Great finish. Ties it up with a 3-ball. George tried to thread the needle. Kick ball. Sydney will reset. It's been a pretty fun and fast opening here, Zoe. We would have expected it.
Yeah, the way Perth play, they always try and get you into that foot race. So, like we mentioned before, as we're about to see, Sydney need to make sure they take care of that.
Foot race could be on here. Maley, clinch Hoycard, extra pass. Good child with her feet set. And Sydney got out of jail there. Richards puts it on her left, straight to the cup. Tough finish. Wanted the call as well. Richards has 6. 18 plays 16. 7 minutes gone. Maley. Clark defending Goodchild. Shot clock again winding down. Atwell has to go. Nicholson with the assignment, creates separation. And not in time.
And you can just see when Perth is slowed down in their offense, they're not allowed to move the ball the way they want. They're not allowed to run in transition and get early layups or early threes. That's where they start to sometimes get a little, as we saw, they get a little bit clunky. So from their perspective, they need to be able to obviously continue to put heat on the rim early, but then also execute once they come out of it, use their counters, use their back cuts, which they're very good at. But Sydney, that's the game plan they need to stick with for now.
We've seen 2 threes apiece for both sides. That is great news for Pink Round as well. Cygnett donating $57 per three-pointer throughout the rounds. There's Kayla George from the mid-range, no good. Stick around at halftime as well as we'll hear more from Tiana Mungakahia. Here's Maley. Good child will set the action. Swiped at the steal inside, picked off Nicholson.
Great rotation from Nicholson there to come off her player as she saw, Hoycart was diving on the rim wide open and just being able to make that rotation and come up with the steal.
Panousis, not that time. Some good penetration from Nicholson to create the opportunity. And now it's in the hands of Chloe Forster. Picks up her dribble, Maley. Good child, left wide open. Lucky not to concede there. And now Maley just hit the baseline. Richards with the catch, gives it back to her guard. Time winding down, the Flames need some meaningful movement. George defending the handoff nicely. Nicholson, good defense, Lynx. Good child pushing the issue, and Potter, not that time.
It's a great look and great run by Potter. Probably want to throw it up to the big to make it easier for her to finish that layup.
3 goes down for Clark. The Flames with their biggest lead of the ball game here in the first quarter.
I love what Clark has done this season. Her impact on this Flames team has been huge, whether she started or been on the bench. But she's just come in, she knocks down shots, she defends, boxes out, she does it all. So she's had a really great season so far.
Panousis tries to wrap up the ball and does. Jump ball. Possession arrow favours Sydney. For her team, and she'll take a break.
And into the first time today,
Perth are 2 of 8 from 3 here. Had some great looks at the hoop. Double header today in the Cygnett WNBL. Coming to you on 9 now. Here's Bradley. George assessing Clark on the wing. Bradley's wide open here. And the Flames make their 3rd triple.
It's such a great look. That little rub screen for Kayla George. You have to send 1, if not 2, to her on that. Otherwise, she's going to score off it. And then, it allows Bradley just to pop and knock down the open 3, which is her bread and butter.
And a mighty efficient first quarter for Sydney. They're 4 of 6 from 3, in fact. Shooting well above 50% from the field. Forster. Shot clock is dark. Final opportunity, Perth. Good shot. They wanted the travel, they'll get it, the Flames. 2.3 on the clock for the final shot. Can they make it a double-digit lead at the first break? George puts it up, and that will do it for the end of one. The Sydney Flames lead this one 24-16 over the Perth Lynx. First quarter done here at Qudos Bank Arena.
Use that momentum and power you've created to explode out on your first dribble. Okay, we've got 2 more. 1.
Sometimes as women, we look for perfection as opposed to execution.
The work ethic is important when the players are 40 years younger than you.
Cheers.
Pink round here in Sydney, and the Flames have come to play here. 24 points on the board after the first quarter, shooting very efficiently from the field. An 8-point lead in this one. Liam Ellison and Zoe Carr with you on the call. And Zoe, we could have expected this high-paced ball game.
Yeah, definitely. We mentioned at the start of the broadcast that the Lynx like to play fast, but Sydney's done a great job of trying to stifle that and keep them into the half court as best they can. But for Sydney, Richards has come to play. She's 100% from the field at the moment, and at the other end, she's making life difficult for everybody. She's getting deflections, she's, getting tips to things, coming up with rebounds. So, she wants this big.
She's played all 10 minutes so far. Deddy Richards, 6 points, 2 dimes. And George as well has 5 for the Flames. Perth got out to an early lead here. They've struggled to convert on some of their open opportunities from 3. Something that you'd expect would correct as the game continues.
Yeah, that will change. One thing I'd like to see them try to do is get themselves to the foul line a little bit more. We always talk about if you're having some struggles shooting-wise, get yourself to the foul line, see the ball go through the net, and then that brings your scoring ability or your finishing back into the fold. So I'd like to see them put heat on the rim, as Maylee's just done there, and get some higher percentage or get themselves to the foul line.
Right on cue. First possession, Maylee forces the issue and goes straight to the rack. George. Nicholson, defended by Gorman. Potter closing out on George and lost her in the paint. Couldn't convert though. Long rebound favoured Atwell.
And Perth are going to have to find a way to guard that little screen action that they've got there between Bradley and George.
Nice find inside. Atwell with a finish. And a great start to the quarter for the Lynx. Maley with her second assist there. Bradley, they go under the screen. She will pull the trigger.
And I'm sure that wasn't on the scouting report to go under that screen on Bradley. She loves that three-point shot, so have to be more proactive, either get over the screen or jump out and switch, however it is, but you must keep a hand to her at all times.
She sure does, and she's perfect from 3 so far today, 2 of 2. Gibertoni backing down Nicholson. 3 seconds, Maley has to heave it here. It's a clean contest. Rode it just enough. 7-point lead the Flames as Gorman poked it out of bounds.
Where you at, Flames fans? Go, Flames,
To Kayla
go.
George. Bradley will start the set for Sydney. Here's Clark. Letting it fly. Maley on the glass, up to 6 already. Alex Gibertoni. Outwell's picked up her dribble, needs some assistance. It's via Potter. And the foul call against George.
Just got a little excited. The ball was hung out there and she had a swipe at it. Needs to be careful now though, because that's her second foul for the quarter, so definitely can't afford to pick up her third.
Something to watch for Guy Malloy and the Flames. Gibertoni. Atwell already hit 1-3 today, poked away from Bradley. Stays with Potter though and gets straight to her spot. We'll have to earn him from the stripe. Potter named in the team of the round last week in round 10. 17 points and 7.5 rebounds per game over the Lynx doubleheader.
And she just does such a great job of, getting in, getting boards, finishing on the rim. She's highly efficient. She's great around the rim, whether she's facing it or spinning towards it. So with her size, it makes her really hard to match up against.
She goes 2 of 2. Bradley, Atwell and Gibertoni there.
And Lynx just going to a little half-court press just to change up, take the Flames out of their flow. And as you can see, they've been taken out of their offense.
George in rhythm. It does not matter. She puts the 3 down and the Flames' hot shooting from beyond the arc continues. Back out to an 8-point lead. Atwell, instant response.
And again,
she is feeling it.
That's that transition that we spoke about before. You can't allow Perth to play at their pace. Must find everybody early.
George, same spot, same result.
They're trying to send Cygnett broke with their $57 per 3-point shot.
Well, really thought about it as well. They did get the memo, that's for sure, Zoe. Here's Maley. That's fine inside, and Gibertoni, no one home. Back to a 6-point margin. Bradley. Will George go again here? This time the handoff to Nicholson. She's got space to fire. And the foul call. Atwell hit the deck. We'll go against the Flames on Emma Clark.
And, we're seeing amazing shooting from both teams to start this second quarter. It's really going to come down to the team that wants to lock down defensively, make their adjustments, get hands to shooters, but then also stay in front of the ball. That's what tends to happen when teams are shooting well from the 3-point line. You overcommit, and that allows them to get on the rim and get higher percentage scores. So whichever team locks down defensively first will get this game.
Certainly been fun to call. Both sides shooting so well, and Amy Atwell is playing with some serious swagger at the moment. 29 points in her last outing, and she's picked up where she left off so far here this afternoon. Gibertoni, got to let it go.
And Tess Madgen isn't even helping off the ball. She is basically tagging Atwell there and not allowing her to get a catch.
Simply the only way to do it at the moment. George driving on Potter. Did well to get it out to Bradley. She'll put it on the deck. Perth collapsed down low. Nicholson. And stepped on the line.
And once again, a really good look with that hammer screen on the weak side to get Nicholson open. Just unfortunate she stepped out of bounds.
Halfway through this second quarter. 6-point game in pink round. Gibertoni. Potter there to provide the assistance. She'll roll to the bucket. Still battling on Bradley. And Potter from the baseline. George is there to clean it up. Richards. She's going to attack Potter off the dribble and get the call.
And just such a great look, guard with big, go at them, attack them. You see how she gets almost underneath her, draws that contact, and be able to get herself to the line. Fouls on bigs are so important in the context of the game, especially for the Lynx, who, the only real center is Potter. So if you take her out of the game, that now allows freedom for Kayla George if she's still in the game.
That's a great point, and it'll put a lot of pressure on the bench unit for Perth if Potter had to sit. Richards good on the first. Another player who's really worked into the season. TD Richards had 15 rebounds last week against the Boomers, and the deflection there and the stop for Sydney. Pushed ahead to Magin. They have a chance to extend this lead. Bradley around the pick. Now it's Bradley who wants the ball screen. Nick Spadden is out there for some burn. 6 seconds. Magin zigzagging her way through the keyway. Great contest, but gets the roll.
And a great read. Perth iced that on-ball screen there to not allow her to use it, and she just, what we call a snake dribble, got through, cut her off, and then attacked the big. It was outstanding finish.
Well, Magin right there. She's going to pull the trigger anyway. Nearly went in off the window.
And well done for Magin there not to commit the foul too, because it's easy to foul such a good shooter on the three.
It is. She's the danger woman at the moment. Atwell. Nicholson attacking Chibatoni and gets there down the lane. Timeout on the floor. 38 plays 27. And we have our first double-figure lead of the ball game. Nicholson with the tough finish has forced the hand of Ryan Petrick, and this timeout brought to you by Cygnett. Every day in Australia, 57 people are diagnosed with breast cancer. So as part of Pink Crown and Cygnett's partnership with the McGrath Foundation, Cygnett are donating $57 for every three-pointer scored, not only in this game, Zoe, but over the entire round, all going to the McGrath Foundation and their cause. Of course, 250 breast care nurses by 2025. That is the goal. It's just so lucky to have the support of Cygnett here this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely. And it's one of the great things about this league is that everybody that is involved with it just get almost immersed in all of it. Everybody wants to be a part and wants to help out and wants to do their bit. So, Cygnett have come to the party, which has been fantastic. And now it's up to us as a collective, as a WNBL fan, a coach, a player, an aspirant, whatever it is to, step up and do our part and donate.
And there's been 10 threes hit already as well, so that number continues to climb. But the efficiency from Sydney, 7 of 12 from long range and 15 of 26 from the field. That sees them with an 11-point lead.
Yeah, and hopefully they can keep that up, but it's also going to be one of the things that Coach Petrick has that does really well is he adjusts his defence. He likes to mix it up and keep opposition thinking. So, there may be a little change-up defensively coming, but not allowing Sydney to get whatever they want whenever they want, and they must get contested hands.
It's the first timeout of the game there. 4:18 remaining in the second. Good Childs. Right up McSpadden and good on the left hand. Good Childs, first points off the bench. Richards. Match-up with Maley will be interesting. Magin. McSpadden arrives with a screen. Bradley set in the corner. Opts to take on Goodchild. Chibatoni poked at it, 4 seconds. Nicholson, got to let it fly. Nearly rolled home as well. Perth get the stop. Here's Goodchild attacking. Spinning on Bradley, and McSpadden able to clean it up.
McSpadden's another one that's had such a good season so far this year. She's, been able to come in and defend, get rebounds, block shots, and then finish when her opportunities come to her. I just think it's been a real breakout season for her so far.
Yeah, another of those Flames players off the pine that you can put them in so many different roles. Like Emma Clark, like Kira Rowe, and they're able to excel as Clinch Hoycard with the 3 ball.
Cannot allow Clinch Hoycard on the 3. Just can't. And it's most of the Perth's lineup, to be honest, but definitely her.
Back to a 6-point ball game. Magin did well to control it. Now she'll reset with 9 seconds. 2-man action with McSpadden. Richards thought about it, opted to let it fly.
Richards is feeling it. She wants this game. But now she's doing it from everywhere. She's sticking the three. She's getting on the rim. She's getting deflections. Then Mila Goodchild just turns around and says, right back at you.
Both sides are on fire here at the moment. Terrific hoops at Qudos Bank. Bradley. The poke in was a foul on Goodchild. Bradley to the line. The second trip as a team for the Flames. Here's that Richards 3-ball again. She's got 10 points in the ball game.
And it's not just what she's doing offensively. Defensively, she has been a menace. Because of her length, she's getting things that are unstatable, you know, deflections, or she's helping on split lines so they aren't able to make that feed into the paint. She's just been a nightmare for the Lynx defensively. So genuinely doing it at both ends of the floor tonight.
She has been terrific. Bradley just off in the first. And she splits a pair at the line.
In for the Flames, number 5, Vanessa.
To a 7-point lead. And they will sub the shooter. Panousis on the floor guarding Goodchild. Goodchild's got motoring here in the second quarter. She attacks the hoop again, and she has 7.
Such a great take from Goodchild there too. Everyone knows that they have to contain her three, so they play her a little tighter. Being able to get on the rim and finish, contort and finish outside of her body is very impressive.
George doubled, great recognition. Nicholson for 3. Well controls it. Head to Maley. Sydney get back in defence. Now in the hands of Goodchild. Options everywhere on this Perth team. Extra pass, clinch, Hoykard for another 3. Now Nicholson. Time winding down in the first half, and George has fouled.
And I think that's something that while Sydney's shooting the ball very well from the three-point line, they cannot forget about going inside to George. You know, she's such a target in there. She's so hard to guard for anybody on the Lynx team. So continue to kick the ball inside when she's open, or give it to her on the 3 and she'll just knock down a 3.
Inside, outside, Kayla George can do it all. She's up to 14. Sydney continue to control this one at the moment. Goodchild. Gorman at the top, down low. Clinch Hoykard has the mismatch.
And that's a great find on the switching on the screen, had the mismatch inside, and not mucking around, just getting the ball inside as quick as possible to get a quick finish.
Madgen let it fly. That was a deep 3-ball. Less than a minute remaining in this second quarter. Atwell. Instant threat, opts to put it on the deck this time and draws the foul.
And a great adjustment from her. You know, Madgen, is, as I mentioned before, is not leaving her at all. So scores from the 3 are going to be difficult to come by. So to make that adjustment and say, well, okay, you've taken away my 3. I'm going to put my head down and get on the rim, try and get myself to the line. You know, try and free herself up that way, because if she continually gets on the rim, then they're going to have to adjust the way they play her.
So a timeout first before the 3 throws. 6-point lead in favour of the Flames. 33.7 remaining on the clock, and this one brought to you by CTM Sport, here to transform your team's travel experience. Leave the hassle of off-court arrangements to CTM Sport. Get the winning edge today at ctmsport.com.au. We'll have 2 free throws just after this from Amy Atwell. And spoke about Steph Gorman, who's come into that starting 5, replacing Erin McDonald. But I think Atwell has a massive job to do over the next 4 weeks with McDonald out of the lineup.
Yeah, definitely. And look, from a scoring perspective, over the last few weeks, she has stepped up, but she can't do it all by herself. You know, people have to come with her and be able to spread that load and also take a bit of pressure off of her. Right now, Tess Madgen can afford to not leave her because nobody else has really taken on. Goodchild's done a good job so far. She's going to need to continue to do that to help make a difference for Atwell to be able to free her up a little bit more.
Goodchild has been right over the last 4 or 5 minutes of game action. Got 15 points off the bench, the Lynx, from Goodchild and Clinch Hoykard, who have 8 and 7 respectively. So Atwell with 2. Trying to keep pace with this red-hot Flames outfit. And good on the first. Perth are shooting above 50% from the field themselves. And Atwell makes no mistake. Back to a 2-possession ball game. Richards. They get it out of her hands. Naily defending the rock. George. Had a big second period, as has Madgen. Especially defensively, Nicholson. Now with the rock inside the paint. And pulled down by Clinch Hoykard. The deflection from George nearly got the steal twice. Somehow Perth get out of it. Gorman looks good out of the hand, just off. 2 seconds, one last heave. Panusas at the half. And that will do it at the main break. 4-point ball game. Sydney 45 lead the Perth Lynx 41 here for pink round at Qudos Bank Arena, Zoe Carr.
Yeah, massive defensive possession there from Kayla George. The 2 deflections, then contesting the open shot, then got back to try and get the last shot. So, you know, her endeavour and her effort has just been massive in this game so far.
It sure has. George has been terrific. Perth only 4 down here at the moment. Here's your first half highlights. Both teams playing outstanding hoops, really, in this matinee here for your doubleheader of the Cygnett WNBL. Shooting above 50% from the field, and it has been raining from 3.
It has. It's the old 3-point party, and everyone's invited. But, you know, it's one of those things that when you talk about games and percentages, they tend to drop in the second half. So which team is going to have to make those adjustments and get higher on the rim? We spoke about it before. You know, continue to go inside to George, continue to go inside to Potter to make sure that those options are still there should you need them, should the threes dry up.
Sydney have had options all over the court where it's been Amy Atwell for Perth. Give her a millimetre of space, it's going up and likely in. George hit back-to-back threes at one point as well. And here's Tess Madgen, who her first game back into the starting lineup, returning from injury, has looked good.
Well, and also defensively from Madgen as well. Like, you know, she's made life hard for Amy Atwell, who still has 11 points. So, you know, she's just shows what sort of a quality player that she is.
The numbers so far, and the Flames looking good from beyond the arc. Rebounds, assists, all looking pretty even at this stage, and efficiency from both sides. Turnovers low for Sydney.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it goes to show we spoke about the, you know, the low possession game, trying to execute, make Perth play long possessions, and that plays into, you know, taking care of the ball. So they've done a great job of that, but it is a case of making sure in this second half, Perth tend to come out of the blocks really well out of halftime. That's where they start to put runs on and score in bunches. So it'll be Perth will obviously be trying to do that coming out of halftime, but the Flames will need to make sure that they really buckle down and don't allow that sort of energy and that run from the Lynx.
Stick around, second half not far away here at Qudos Bank Arena, and a very special sit-down chat as well with Tiana Mungakar here. Make sure you do not miss it. It's a 4-point ball game at the half.
Women are powering forward and changing the game on and off the court. Together, Basketball Australia and the Australian Sports Commission are powering women in basketball. We are amplifying the voices, skills and spirit of women in the game. From the backboards to the boardrooms, we're breaking barriers, shattering stereotypes and empowering the next generation of female athletes and leaders. Get involved and together we can create a future where every girl's hoop dreams are within reach.
There are things we can't see, like the air that we breathe. There's a power in me, you'll see.
He's done it!
For our homegrown superstars, this is the one that matters most. The Aussies are ready to unleash on 9 Summer of Awesome.
Ford dealers have backed sport in communities for nearly 100 years. And now, from the Boomers and Opals to Aussie Hoops, your local Ford dealer is proud to support basketball. Because all dreams start somewhere.
Sammy Whitcomb, you can't keep her down all night.
Hi, I'm Sammy Whitcomb, and this is Harper.
And I'm Steph Reed, and this is Frankie.
And we're here with Ford Aussie Hoops, and we're gonna go have some fun. Here we go. Grab a ball. I want this one. That's the bunny ball.
I wanted that one.
Whoa. You're so young. Whoa. Here you go.
Whoa. Shoot it.
Nice.
What's your favorite thing about basketball?
I think one of my favorite things about basketball is getting to play on a team with the group and like working towards one common goal with that group. I think that's really rewarding.
Yeah.
What is your favorite routine?
Favorite routine before a game? I nap like a nana.
She can. That is so impressive.
Go,
Bang, bang.
Oh,
Easy. That's so easy. You guys are great. Did you learn that at Aussie Hoops?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, swish.
Thank you guys so much for shooting with us, hanging out, drawing.
Good joke.
You guys are fantastic.
Joke.
Love it. Aussie Hoops got some good ones.
Oh, good. Get out of here.
An absolute workhorse.
Alex Demonor. Australia's top hope. Oh, what a shot. He tries to get to every ball. Demonor, dazzles in Melbourne.
Women are powering forward and changing the game on and off the court. Together, Basketball Australia and the Australian Sports Commission are powering women in basketball. We are amplifying the voices, skills and spirit of women in the game. From the backboards to the boardrooms, we're breaking barriers, shattering stereotypes and empowering the next generation of female athletes and leaders. Get involved and together we can create a future where every girl's hoop dreams are within reach.
I am
And I just remember Mum coming home from work and I had the piece of paper in my hand. I was like, no way, like this is happening again. Especially after the season I had just had. And so then I just started crying even more.
Manga Kahia probing, assessing her options. 6 seconds, goes herself. Manga Kahia.
That's tough. Obviously had to retire.
Pink round. Help us ensure that no one goes through breast cancer without the care of a McGrath breast care nurse. Tiana Mungakar here. An inspiration, really, and done such a great job along with the Flames developing this round.
Definitely. It's such an important round and such an important initiative, and I can't speak highly enough of Tiana and what she's been able to do to put this together, because it's not only about donating, it's also about raising awareness for all women and girls out there to make sure that they also do a breast check once a month. So being able to bring this to the fold and bring it to the light is just... It's super special, and it's such a great thing to be able to be a part of.
Yeah, well said. It's an issue really that has touched almost every Australian in some way. And today the Flames are wearing black armbands for Scott Balzer, who unfortunately passed away, Zoe.
Yeah, just such an absolute tragedy. Scott was a wonderful coach, a stalwart of New South Wales basketball, had an amazing sense of humour, and was beloved by everybody that met him. So just thoughts and love go out to his family and his friends and everybody that knew him. And I'm sure that his legacy that he has left within basketball, not just within New South Wales, but also across Australia, will live on.
Absolutely. Well said. Zoe Carr with you on the call alongside Liam Ellison. Here we go. 4-point ball game here as we enter the second half. Not far away now. 45 plays 41. The Sydney Flames are in the lead. Efficient shooting so far, looking after the basketball, and it has been great up and down action for Pink round, and the threes, importantly, as well, have been going down.
Absolutely. Being able to, rack up the threes and rack up more money for the initiative for this round is fantastic. But one of the things I just wanted to highlight was the bench points for Perth. So they're 15 bench points so far in the half, most because of Clinch Hoeycard and Mila Goodchild. That's something that Sydney don't quite have at the moment. They've only got 3, so they're going to need some of their bench players in Clark, Panousis, Rowe, McSpadden to really step up and start sharing some of that scoring load.
Players out on the floor in the third quarter, not far away. Flames are led by 14 from Kayla George, and Amy Atwell, who had 29 in her last outing for Perth, has 11 at the half. And Richards will start us off. Doubleheader in the WNBL and doubleheader here in Sydney. Here's Bradley. We are underway in the third. Richards had a great first half herself, causing issues on both ends of the floor, and the rolling George was picked off by Potter. Maley puts it on the deck, and attacking Richards gets the whistle.
Tough call there, but, great job by Perth playing the way that they want to play, getting out and running, trying to put heat on the rim early. It's one of those things that, you put yourself in a position that it can tend to happen. So one of the things I'd like to see Sydney try and do in their next offensive possession is try and get Richards into the game somehow. So get her a high percentage look, whether it is the 3 or at the rim, because she's still 100% from the field. So look to try and run something for her in conjunction with a Kayla George, and that will help open her up and be able to get her something that she's happy with.
Chance to do so just here. Richards retrieves the rock on cue. Clark presenting down low in the post. Here's Loz Nicholson. Around that ball screen, extra pass George. Richards attacking down the lane, good off the glass.
And a great Euro step and tough finish over contact, being able to go to the middle. Going over the front of the rim is probably the hardest or high percentage shot that you can get. So to be able to Euro to the middle and finish, that is tough.
She is dangerous downhill, Dee Richards. Here's Chivatoni. Nice find, Potter, good on the lay-in.
Just a missed tag there from Clark, being able to catch that roller and catch her early, like we saw Tess Madgen do in the first quarter.
Bradley awaits assistance. Now it's in the hands of Richards once again. And the call against Atwell. Just her first personal.
Lynx foul number 25, Amy Atwell first.
Certainly a player they can't afford to get into any foul issues. So a fresh 14 for the Flames. Richards, Maley was there, nearly came up with a steal. Did well to retrieve it via Clark. 8 seconds. Bradley, down low. Clark going to work on Atwell. And good on the reverse layup.
Such a tough finish, but so smart to use the rim as a protector. So rather than go up same side on the right-hand side of the floor, she went behind the backboard and finished and used the basket to protect her from that.
Richards' deflection. Richards with the steal, puts it ahead to Bradley in transition. And the Flames back out to a buffer. 7-point lead. It's the second steal of the ball game for DD Richards, and she is having an influence in more ways than one. Annalie Maley looking to attack Richards. Out of bounds.
And great job from Richards there too. Just kept the ball in front and made it difficult. And, you know, you see here, takes the chest blow, takes another one, and just keeps the ball in front. What can tend to happen, especially some of our younger athletes, stand up and allows them, a player like Maley will just go right around her, but she used her length.
This battle is heating up between Maley and Richards. George hands it back to Richards. Extra pass, Clark out on the corner. Bradley had front position on the rebounds.
And that's a great look. You continue to take those shots and find those looks. You know, you'd be happy with that, even though it didn't go in, because they're wide open, they're uncontested, and they're shots that players that are on the floor at the moment will hit.
George. Always a threat herself. Denying that handoff there was Gorman. Bradley drives around the ball screen. George had time to set.
Perth got lucky there. That's not often you leave, especially today. Kayla George open for a wide open three. The help defender's got to come off and stunt a lot earlier than that.
Emily Potter battling with George down low. And that's last touch by Richards.
Last touch by the Flames. Possession to the Lynx.
Another chance for the Lynx coming up. Just lost her footing.
Let's get it loud right here.
8 seconds to work with. Chibatoni will inbound. And Richards has drawn the foul. It's going to go against Emily Potter, I believe. That'll be number 2. In fact, it's going on Atwell. And that makes things just a little interesting with the second for her as well.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Sydney try and go at her and get her to pick up her third early in this quarter, or whether they just continue to play the way they've been playing and find the scores that they want to find.
The forcer to the bench would be a leg up for the Flames, no doubt about that. George, this time from the elbow.
Such a great read. Perth is starting to, you know, understand the shape and the action and waiting for that screen. Potter jumps across early, and George just reads that and gets on the rim.
Potter follows her own miss for 2. Remains a 7-point Flames lead. Nicholson on the wing. Backed out via Paige Bradley. George will provide the pick. And Bradley fouled. Looks to come up sore after that one.
Lynx foul. Alex Chibatoni is first.
That's team foul number 3 for Perth in the quarter. Chibatoni with a personal. Here's a better look at it.
Ooh, corky?
It might have been.
Looked like a corky.
Never fun.
No.
She looks like she'll be A-OK, Paige Bradley. So the Flames a chance to reset. George the dime. Great vision.
Great pass from George, and it's one of the real strengths of her scoring ability. We all know about it. We've seen it for so many years, but her ability to pass the ball and find open players. You know, she's their leading assist getter at the moment, and you can see why.
Turnover, Bradley. Perth get back. Richards in the post with Maley. George faked the pass. She'll fire herself. Thought it was down. Clark did really well to muscle out the extra possession for the Flames. Nicholson. George. Same spot. That time it won't roll home. Oh, Richards nearly got the steal again.
And again, another deflection from Richards. You don't get to put that on a stats sheet, but you know, they've slowed their run. She's slowed their run. She's made it difficult for him. She's allowed Sydney to now get back and set up defensively. It's massive what she's been able to do with those deflections so far.
Timeout on the floor. This one is brought to you by Ford Aussie Hoops, the perfect intro to the world of basketball for kids aged 5 to 10 years. Visit aussiehoops.basketbol to register today and find a program near you. This one has gone out to a 9-point lead in favour of the Sydney Flames, and you highlighted the influence of Richards, who is making Perth think about it at the moment if she's there in the passing lane.
Yeah, it's something that her length, her athleticism, but even just her read, just being able to know that that's where it's going to go. She gets there early and is able to get a hand to it. Everyone always talks about the steals and how many steals they get. Deflections are just as useful. You know, that fear or that hesitation that getting lots of deflections does to passes in particular is massive. So, you know, you'll start to see that there'll be, if she's on split line, you'll start to see passers have to actually think about whether the ball's going to go in there or not. That's just as good as a steal.
It just slows them up, just stagnates things, doesn't it? A stat that we'd love to have, the deflections.
Yeah.
5:30 remaining in the third quarter. Kayla George leads the way with 16 points. Pink round in Sydney. And here's Goodchild for her first minutes of the second half. Bradley right up in her grill. Fights over the screen. Clinch Hoykard. Instant. Comes out of the bench and puts it up for three.
And again, it's just that third player outside of the action, just getting there and stunting. Make her slow down. Don't allow her to catch in rhythm and shoot that three, because she'll knock that down all day.
Nicholson got it to Richards, who did well to keep it in bounds. Bradley. Extra pass inside. Richards, high energy. She is everywhere at the moment.
That is beautiful basketball, especially out of a fumble. But to be able to move the ball and penetrate, find the open player, that is the epitome. That's what all coach wants to see.
And Hoykard. Speaking of players who've made an impact off the bench, she has 11. Here's Chivatoni. Atwell steps into a three, gets the call, count it. Atwell with a chance for one more.
And when you are such a good three-point shooter, when you are such a threat, you do pick up those fouls because you have to overhelp. You have to get there and contest it as best you can. So amazing job from Atwell there to not only finish it, but also draw the foul and go to the line for a 4-point play.
Great angle for our viewers at home there. Atwell out of the hand. It was right on line. She is so fun to watch. Up to 14 today. And the 4-point play is converted. Back to a 2-possession ball game. Bradley. 5.5 gone in his third quarter. Atwell defending the rock. Richards fronts and fires from mid-range.
She's still 100%. So keep going at her. You should never finish a game at 100% because you could get so many shots that you eventually end up missing one. But she is on fire tonight. She definitely wants this win.
Approaching double-digit attempts as well for Richards. It's been a fun battle. Maley taking it right at Richards. George is there on the double travel.
And again, Richards on the D, just keeping the ball in front, taking the chest blows, you know, using her length and making it difficult. That's exactly how you want to defend, especially a team like Perth who want to get feet in the paint to try and draw defense in and find their shooters.
She's leading by example at the moment, and it has fired up this Flames team. Here's George. Retrieves it back from Magin. Jab step, tries to get rid of Clinch. Hoykard gets the call.
And great job from George there too to hear the whistle and put the ball up. So now she goes to the line. It's, you know, it certainly didn't look like a prayer or anything like that, but that's smart just to be able to put that up there to make sure that she gets her 2 shots rather than it be a baseline out of bounds.
So smart, Kayla George, and her first trip to the line is a successful one on the first attempt. 2 of 2 for George. Good Charles. With the rock. Bradley hunting her down. Lynch Hoycard rolling to the hoop. Atwell there on that wing. Now she's there with a handoff. Maley's open for 3. And Shibatoni battling there on the O-glass. Extra possession. First to it again. Run out of real estate, Sydney ball, but you love the hustle.
Absolutely. It's two teams both going at it. They weren't going to allow it to just go out of bounds. They were going to do everything they could. Obviously, Sydney come up with it now. I want it again. I want them to go at Richards. I want to see her get, continue her form and be able to get on the rim and score.
Let's see how they draw it up on this play. George, mid-range, puts it up and in. She is feeling it as well. 20 points, Kayla George.
And she says, how dare you say that the ball's not to come to me? But we've seen George with that shot, that little, fake jab step and then quick release shot. That is so hard to guard and has been a staple of her game since she began in this league.
Atwell hands it off this time to Lynch Hoycard, who was hot herself. Shibatoni, another offensive rebounds, and gets the friendly roll.
One of the advantages of Shibatoni is just, the size she has as a guard. So right now she's got, as you can see, a fair height advantage on Bradley, but they are both guards. So
great steal from Maley. Richards was there, wanted the travel call, play on for Perth. In the hands of Atwell. So it's going to be a steal, in fact. Here's Madgett, 2-on-1 for the Flames, and they finish it off via Nicholson.
What a whirlwind possession that was. Turnovers, wanting travels, all those sort of things. But again, it just came down to continuing to play. Richards wasn't happy not getting the call or with the turnovers, but they continue to play and they come up with it again.
There's some twists and turns, you're right, over the course of that backcourt possession. Double-digit lead Sydney, 65 plays 55. And this time out is brought to you by the WNBL. An official app is available now on your app stores. We don't want you to miss a minute of the action. Live scores, highlights, all your player and team info and more. Download the free WNBL app today. Interesting juncture of this ball game, Zoe Carr. 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. The Flames go on a little mini run here. It could be tough down the stretch for Perth.
Definitely, and you just it's a good time out here because you just sort of get that feeling that the Flames are about to, wrestle that momentum and go on that little bit of a run. So calling the timeout and breaking that momentum, and then again, just making sure they get a good high percentage look here and lock down defensively. They've got 2 minutes and 7 seconds just to make sure that they, don't allow any runs here, because as we know, Flames can pour points on quickly as well. And if you allow that, it's such a tough team to chip away at.
It's been a really high quality game here for Pink Round, raising funds for the McGrath Foundation. A goal of 250 breast care nurses by 2025. And if you do want to get on and help assist the goal of $40,000 raised, you can jump on board the Flames social media and the Flames website for more information on how to get involved. And we have a technical free throw here for Kayla George. It'll be Perth possession. Couldn't sink it on the single free throw, and we are back to Lynx basketball. Good child. Here's the screen from Taj Morell, her first minutes. Lynch Hoycard for 3. Morell battling hard, did well. Good child. That was deep.
That's tough to defend too. You wouldn't expect that shot to come off an offensive board, but a great job to knock that down. And again, the influence of the bench for the Lynx.
Bradley. This Perth bench has been awesome. He's spot on. Nicholson driving baseline. Richards on the floater, just short. Lynch Hoycard got it in via George, so Madgett will set again. Richards has been a headache for Perth today.
And Perth just going to a zone there again to change the lineup, change the look for Sydney and make it just a little bit more difficult. So they're probably coming out ready to run their matchup offense. They have to make a change and try and get into it as quick as possible. So a good change up there from the Lynx.
Tess Madgett with the basketball. George posting up. Nicholson on the perimeter. And again, it goes through the hands of Dee Richards. Kick out to Bradley for 3. Sydney nearly came away with another possession there. Finally, Perth basketball.
And it is one of the risks of going to a zone. It is difficult to box out and end those possessions. So the Lynx got lucky on that one there, that if they stay in that zone, they have to make sure that they take care of that.
Morrell with the pick for Goodchild, attacking Bradley. Straight to the cup, not quite. Tapped out to clinch Hoykard. Another steal for Richards. Puts the length to work, and great pass forward to Bradley.
Outstanding work from Richards. I'd love to know her wingspan.
Yeah.
But, you know, she just comes out of nowhere, but then be able to push and find the open player. Just fantastic basketball.
Morrell with her first points. Injury replacement for Aerie McDonald. Another player, a part of that successful Perth Lynx bench unit. Shot clock ahead of the game clock. George straight away past Imagine. 6 seconds, Nicholson. Won't go, Morell's there. 10 seconds for Perth. In the hands of Amy Atwell. She's got 15. She'll let it fly. Wants the call again, and she will get it. So Atwell will head back to the line for 3 free throws.
She's just so tough. You know, it's one of those things that you wonder, should you just trap her and hope rather than try and play one out? But they're the sort of things that you have to try and play with, and with every with every action comes a risk. Obviously also comes a reward, but great job from Atwell to be able to get herself to the line for yet another 3-point play.
She's in some sort of form, isn't she, Amy Atwell? Short on the first. 29 points against the UC Capitals she had. And now 16 here in Sydney.
It's good. But do you have more in you? How loud can you give it?
To make it a 7-point lead. Likely going into three-quarter time.
Returning for the Lynx, number 24.
Square second for the Flames to work with. Imagine. And they're happy to let the buzzer expire. So after 3, it's a 7-point lead to Sydney in the box seat with a period to play here at Qudos Bank Arena, Zoe Carr.
Yeah, as always, an up and down affair from both teams. But, you know, Sydney obviously coming out on top through some great, mostly defense. You know, a lot of the things that have set these two teams apart are the deflections, the steals, and then the fast break and the finish off of that, or being able to push and keep the Lynx out of their defensive transition and get easier looks, keep them in rotations as long as possible. But Richards has just been outstanding. Kayla George has been outstanding. You know, for the Lynx for this quarter, I'd like to see him try and get Maylee into the game a little bit more. She's got the 6 points and, of course, 10 rebounds, because, of course.
Yes.
But try and get her involved in the game a little bit more and get her to, you know, get some easier looks to get herself on the rim and finish and put some more of that pressure on to then again, you know, free up Atwell and allow her to be able to, you know, continue to score. It's been tough for Atwell, but she still has 17. That's the sort of class player that she is. So, but the Flames have done an outstanding job making it difficult for her. So now Maylee needs to be brought into the game. She needs to also step up and be able to take some of that scoring load.
It's about finding contributors around Amy Atwell, who's got 17 points from just 7 attempts. Just to your earlier point, it's been really tough going for her. But she's in that sort of a form. It doesn't matter at the moment, leading the way for Perth.
Yeah, and being able to get herself to the line on being fouled on 3-point shots is huge. It's a heartbreaker for every coach, but you know, you can also understand it because you have to contest her so tightly because of how dangerous she is. So, yeah, if they can look to get a few more contributors across the board. Like I said, I'd like to see Maylee step up in this quarter. Then we might see a different Atwell and a bit more of a free Atwell, and then the Perth become very difficult.
9 free-throw attempts in the ball game as well for Atwell. Goodchild has 9, and Hoykard with 11, and Emily Potter with 10 as well for the Perth Lynx. Here we go, fourth quarter just about underway. The Lynx currently hold a 5-game win streak over the Flames. Sydney in a good position to break that streak going into the last. They've got 3 players in double figures. George Richards and Paige Bradley. Pink round doubleheader here at Qudos Bank Arena. The Flames and the Kings both in pink, raising money for the McGrath Foundation. The second year that we've had pink rounds. Of course, developed by Tiana Mungakahia. Done such a terrific job. Here we go, underway. Chibatoni right at Bradley.
And again, using that size, that, you know, as such a tall guard, being able to then finish over the top, that's an advantage that the Perth Lynx can look to use.
Bradley assessing. Rowe. Imagine on the wing, defended by Atwell. George from the baseline.
That turnaround jump shot from the short corner. We've seen it for I don't know how many years now. It's just beautiful to watch. And it is one of those things, again, when you're not in direct matchup, players can get lost. You know, George did a great job of getting underneath the zone there and finding that space.
The MVP has been balling tonight. Potter at the low block. And Bradley will start the possession for the Flames. 6-point ball game. Imagine with a handoff. Nice two-man action. George on the finish.
Beautiful look and a great read from the Flames too, to notice that the Lynx were in a matchup. So, you know, being able to recognise that earlier, that's the experience of your Test Magins, to be able to see that and go into their matchup offense early.
Potter. Chibatoni there. Gorman moved onwards, deflected from Bradley. 4.8 reads the shot clock.
Let's step it up, Sydney. Loud as you can right now.
Chibatoni will inbounds. Where will they go on this possession? Atwell working hard to get open. She's just about behind the glass as Maley working hard. Bradley. Now it's Nicholson and George. Popped out to George for 3.
And Perth got lucky there. Sia Petoni was just slightly late to get to that. You know, that's got to be, whether you're in a rotation or you're just in a stunt, she's got to be a lot closer than that to be able to deter a player like Kayla George.
It was a terrific look, that's for sure. Chibatoni attacking inside the paint, gets to her spot.
And great finish, again, using her height as a guard, getting deep into the paint and then being able to finish over the top.
Tough take. Imagine. Again, George there with a ball screen. Imagine waiting for some assistance. Now it's Bradley from the baseline.
And the Lynx staying with that zone on a match up on a miss, but they're doing a really good job of attacking that short corner. That's where, at the moment, that zone is susceptible. So they're doing a great job of spacing that out and then attacking the short corner and finishing.
Chibatoni with the aggression. Nearly the and one play. She'll go to the line for 2.
So the Lynx have recognised that mismatch with Bradley and Sia Petoni. So there's a concerted effort there to get her inside the paint and to try and finish over the top.
Hasn't it been working so far in the fourth quarter? Imagine takes a seat.
I love what you do. Leave the booze at home and scream all you want.
Flames have got Clark and Rowe out there off the pine. And the crowd letting her hear it. That was 1 of 2. Bradley. Now on the corner is George, wide open, wanted it, deflected though. Off Emily Potter, good defense, Perth.
And another defensive change-up, so into a 1-3-1 zone there off those free throws.
Atwell passed out of a shot, recognised Potter was in her spot. Perth back within 5. Bradley's doubled. Clark. Flipped over to Nicholson for 3. Retrieves it back on the long rebound. George, escape dribble. 3 ball. Not quite off the glass. Maley moving it forwards. And Bradley was there.
And a great job from Bradley too in defensive transition to know where the biggest threat is. Found Atwell early and didn't allow her to get the catch at all.
Sideline ball for Amy Atwell, and in fact it is a timeout. 5-point lead to the Sydney Flames, 3.5 gone in the fourth quarter, and this one is brought to you by your local Ford dealer, proudly supporting community basketball in Australia. We are not far away from crunch time here in Pink Round, Zoe Carr.
Yeah, this is a really big couple of minutes here out of this timeout. This could be, continue to be a little bit of an arm wrestle, or which team's going to step up and break this game open, because no one's really been able to get a real run on it and be able to really stamp their authority on the game. So I've really liked the way the Lynx have been changing up their defense and making it difficult for the Flames to be able to recognise what defense that they're in and then try and set up an offense for it. But then the Flames, the three-point shot is still there, but the percentage is dropping. So they need to then try and get back on the rim. I'd say Richards will come back into the game now and look to finish the rest of this game, which could provide that extra scoring punch.
She does indeed enter the floor. Dee Richards, Perth have kept themselves in this contest. Chipotoni's been great attacking that mismatch, and Atwell will inbound to start things off. Good child. Choi card. The ball screen. Now Maley will do the same. Off the dribble. Attacking Bradley on the left hand. Flipped it up. Couldn't flip it in. Maley another chance. Mid-range 2, no good. Fumbled on the rebounds. It was a hot one to handle. Atwell. Choi card. Attacking the paint. Good child. And the off-ball foul. Maley hit the deck first. I think it's going to go against Bradley. Just the first team foul on Sydney.
Foul is on Paige Bradley. Their second.
That was a great look for Goodchild. Wasn't far away from going down either.
And a great find from Clint Choikard too to put heat on the rim. She was over contested, put the ball to the floor and found an open shooter.
Goodchild nearly retrieved it off the inbounds. Here's Clint Choikard. In the hands of Amy Atwell. Picked up her dribble. 4 seconds. Got to go from Gorman. Clint Choikard is there on the follow.
She's been massive in this game. Her impact off the bench, particularly scoring-wise, has been huge.
Biggest lead was 11 at one stage for Sydney. Nicholson. You thought maybe they were moments away from putting a game-deciding buffer between them and Perth, but the Lynx keep coming as George is up to 26.
Such a great read. I love seeing Kayla George there just post up the weak side of the zone, so the smaller side of the zone where there's no help. So an outstanding find from Nicholson.
That's Goodchild for 3. The second of the afternoon, and the Lynx keep whittling away at that Flames lead. Will they draw up this time? George is there again in the post. Atwell doubled. Clark moving it quickly. Now it's Bradley. Floater goes up and in.
Sydney just playing beautiful, pure basketball. Ball's going inside, it's going out, it's shifting sides of the floor, it's getting through hands, and they're not giving up. They're not taking bad shots. They're giving up good for great. And then Atwell just knocks that down.
Amy Atwell. What a star. Down to a 1-point ball game. Another 3 for her. And that is a risky pass. Good shot. Perth with the chance to make him pay. Maley is there for the 2-on-1, missing. Now it's Nicholson. Sydney can slingshot forward.
Sydney got lucky there on that. That's one of the reasons why, as a point guard, you want to try and play in the seams. So if you do need to make that cross-court pass, it's not as far away.
Nicholson. Back to George in the painted area. Follows her own miss. Couldn't go a third time. Goodchild, 12 off the bench. Transition 3. That one short. Perth will get there for an extra 14. Gorman spinning, couldn't get the shot up on George. And now it's Atwell once again. Clinch Hoycard with the screen. Can she split through the double? Bradley wrapped it up, but a foul call. Looks to be the whistle. Guy Malloy thought maybe she stepped on the line. The referee didn't see it that way. Here comes Magin. And this will give us a good sense of what happened here. Wrapped up by Bradley, and there's the call.
All right, Sydney, right here. Loud.
Just not clean enough to be a jump ball.
Loud as you've been all day, it's been loud. Defense.
That means they get a shot clock reset, the Lynx. Neela Goodchild attacking Bradley. Getting down low. That is great work. Terrific footwork from Goodchild.
And Lynx really looking to exploit that mismatch. Whoever is out of their guards, because they have such tall guards across the board for the Lynx, they're looking to use that mismatch and use that height to really try and isolate Bradley and get her deep in the paint so they can finish over the top of her.
That last bucket means the Lynx retaking the lead here. After we started with a double-digit lead to Sydney. Timeout. Guy Malone wants to chat things over with his team. 23 seconds away from crunch time. And this one is brought to you by the WNBA and WNBL partnership here for League Pass. Of course, a huge development for the league here. All games now shown on the WNBA app and League Pass to international viewers. Means it's available to over 100 countries around the world. The WNBL only continuing to grow its viewership, Zoe.
Yeah, it's massive for the WNBL to be able to have that sort of exposure, not only for the league, but also for then athletes over in the WNBA to see, you know, in their off-season, do they want to come and play here and showcase the amazing league that we have.
What a game they've been treated to so far. This one absolutely has lived up to everything we could have built it as. Third versus fifth on the table. A game which Sydney must win at 7-8, trying to stay with that top four. And now it is on a knife's edge for the Flames.
Yeah, the Flames just have to get back to what they were doing well. You know, making sure that, you know, the ball's going inside, outside, it's shifting sides of the floor, and that they're attacking the people that they want to attack. You know, get the ball into the hands of George, get the ball into the hands of Richards, and then anybody else that comes out of that, great, but they should be their two focal points at the moment. But the Lynx are doing an outstanding job of making that difficult by changing up their defense. We've seen matchups, we've seen half-court traps, we've seen zones, so that makes it difficult for the Flames. So they need to really lock in and try and recognise early and get into their offence quickly.
Nicholson, not quite for three, follows her own miss. Kick out Bradley. It's been a great afternoon here so far in Sydney. And we'll see who's going to stand up down the stretch. 4 seconds, Magin attacking. Defence from Maley was clean. Kicks it ahead to Clinch Hoycard. Atwell was alone on the low block. Goodchild pulls the trigger on the three. Richards diving on it. Hustle from both teams. Atwell gets it up. And not quite. A rare wide open look for Amy Atwell. And Dee Richards has hustled all game long.
And the Flames just have to be careful here. Perth are starting to play their own game. They're starting to play in pace and, you know, early transition threes, heat on the rim, all that. They've got to go back to slowing them down like they did and really suffocate them defensively so they can't play the way that they want to play, which is, you know, high shots, high possessions, and then trying to clean up the offensive boards.
Right here, right here.
Goodchild will inbound. Chance to extend this Perth lead. Nicholson guarding Atwell there. Goodchild splitting through the middle. George pulls it down on the miss. Ahead to Bradley. Nicholson to her right. Now it's Richards who's going to attack here. Puts it right on the deck. And the defense from Clinch Hoycard all clean. Nearly Goodchild with the rock. Richards nearly forced the deflection. And Crowd getting involved here at Qudos Bank. Chibatoni, back cut, Euro stepping through, Maley open in the corner. The battle for the boards, and the call first. 3 athletes hit the deck. What a couple of possessions, Zoe.
Just the effort and the putting their bodies on the line, and you can see how much this win means to both teams. So I think that foul could have probably gone on 3 different people. But seeing them be able to really put in that effort and try and get to the ball first and take possession of the ball, it's just fantastic.
It's got that feeling about it, this one. It's going to be a moment down the stretch. Great display of the Cygnett WNBL. And Atwell is one of the informed players in the league. There's no doubt about that. He's good child. 7 seconds. They need some movement. Clinch Hoykard with the ball screen. 2 seconds. Good child. Got to put it up. Too long. They get to stop the Flames. Don't the fans love it?
The fans sound amazing. The crowd there just sounds up and about and into this game. But now we need to see what Sydney have got. How are they going to get themselves back in the lead?
Imagine. Nicholson. Done well looking after the basketball today, the Flames. Nicholson's open. Richards there to assist. Mid-range 2. Just off. Bradley, though. Extra look. And George. The contested just enough. George again. Back iron. Chaos at the moment at this end of the floor. Richards opts to put it on the deck and gets the whistle. They get the reward. Finally, the Flames.
And again, a great look at, couple of tough misses, shots that you would expect to go in, but continued to fight. All 5 of them continued to fight, and then, okay, we're not really hitting around the rim, so let's get ourselves to the foul line and get easy points from there.
It was frantic, wasn't it?
It was.
This game has not been short of frantic possessions. Richards missing. George, nearly first to it. She is. All by herself. 3-point trip for the Flames. They're back up by 2 and George is pumped.
She wants this, and all of the Flames definitely want this. They want to win every game, but this game means so much to them, and they'll do anything to make sure they get it done.
Absolutely. The 2nd annual pink round for the Flames.
Here we go.
Another big crowd here at Qudos Bank. Chibatoni was under some pressure, did well. The lane was open momentarily. Nicholson closed it off. Clinch Hoykard for 3. Atwell from position on the O-glass. Important bucket, and it'll force a timeout. We are all tied up here, 80 apiece in the Harbour City. And Amy Atwell, who has been manned ferociously throughout the afternoon, making things happen herself on the rebounding contest, Zoe.
Just doing it all. Shooting the 3, getting on the rim, offensive rebounds, putbacks, just doing everything. And, dragging this team with her just to say, we will not give this
Is set.
Go, Flames, go.
George with the screen. Bradley's there, open on the wing. She'll opt to pull the trigger for three.
Massive finish. That is huge in the context of this game, and then straight back defensively to put pressure on. Outstanding work from Bradley.
Ryan Petrick wants to chat things over. Flames 83, Lynx 80. Big shot, Paige Bradley. And we know when she's got her feet set, she is mighty efficient from beyond the arc. Bradley has 18 in the ball game, 7 of 8 from the field.
Yeah, she's been huge, and just to be able to knock that down, you know, in the context of what this game is and what this play phase is, you know, if they went empty on that possession, that starts to increase tension, and you know, you start to tighten up, you start to worry defensively, you can have breakdowns, all those sort of things. So to give that little bit of a buffer to be able to say, okay, well, defensively, if they're going to beat us, they can get on the rim and get 2, but they can't have 3. But to have that buffer is just massive. So huge shot in the context of this game.
3-point buffer. It puts the pressure on Perth, doesn't it? To be sure, the Flames will not want the ball in Atwell's hands.
Definitely not, but they also need to make sure they take care of Clint Choikard and Goodchild too, who we all know can easily knock down the 3.
That's a great point. Weapons from everywhere from beyond the arc. We'll see how they line up defensively, Sydney. Nicholson's done a good job defending Atwell throughout. It's been a duel. Atwell will inbounds. Ball advance, Chippertoni. Finally, Malian Richards down low. Here's Potter in the post.
Emily Potter.
So back to a 1-point ball game. George looks a little sore.
Might have copped a clip across the head on that spin move.
I think so, just incidentally, perhaps. Didn't take too much time off the clock, importantly for Perth. Inbounds to Magic. Chippertoni defending the rock. George was there for the screen. She's doubled. Sees her way out of trouble. Bradley hit one from this spot moments ago. Nicholson attacking the Perth defense.
Massive from Nicholson. She has been huge for them defensively. Like, she's been working so hard. Her 3-point shot hasn't dropped, but the adjustment to get on the rim.
Gets the call. That is one against the grain, and an extra to come at the line. Sorry, Zoe.
No. That is, oh my goodness, that is indicative of this game, right? Like, you have one amazing score play phase at one end, and the other team's just down the other end and having exactly the same right back at you. So massive free throw here from Potter. Can she now calm under this sort of pressure and nail the free throw?
And missing. Huge miss. Magin evading the Perth Lynx defenders. They get the whistle. 2.5 came off the game clock. And they've only got the one team foul, Perth. And that is going to be a problem. Up any of these personals. If it does go to OT, she's got 3.
They're working for you. Are you working for them?
1.4 came off the clock there. Still 2 to give. Into Nicholson. Gorman. Precious time winding down. So the next should send them to the line.
This is her third, team's third.
In fact, correction, that is the 3rd team foul. So if they do get the basketball back, Perth, it's not going to be with much time to get a look.
No, so, you know, Sydney have done a great job of really winding down and chewing up this time, and, you know, it'll take a steal. It'll take a steal on one of these passes now to be able to have a hope in this game.
You'd think so. Sydney have absorbed the pressure really well. So far at least. Still one to give. Bradley's been unfazed on the inbounds. Into Nicholson, in safe hands. Finally they foul. I think some time's going to be put back on the clock, I believe. Or will it? That might be it. The Flames, 1 point win. We'll get confirmation in just a moment. They're in the box seat regardless. So we will get some time put back on. Half a second. Tip in, you'd think so if they get the chance. But 2 free throws here from Nicholson, who is a great free throw shooter.
Well, and it is enough time for a shot, technically. So, you know, and again with Atwells and Goodchilds and all that lurking around, you never know what could happen.
Atwell has a really quick trigger as well. And he's in play. Nicholson perfect on the first.
Be interesting to see if she misses this on purpose, just to take any sort of action or play phase out of it.
Wants to put it down, so 3 points. Is there one last miracle for the Perth Lynx? Chibatoni ahead, gets it off. Atwell, was it in time? No, that'll do it. 3-point victory to the Sydney Flames here in pink round at Qudos Bank. What a ball game. They erase a 5-game win streak the Perth Lynx had over Sydney. This one was fun, Zoe Carr.
It really was. An up and down arm wrestle for the entire game. No team really got to break open and get that sort of freedom. Both teams made their adjustments defensively really well, and it was just great to see. But from a niceness perspective, it's nice to see the Flames get this win for T.
It does cap off a nice afternoon for the Sydney Flames. Tiana Mungakar here for pink round. Plenty of threes went down as well for both sides. Of course, Cygnett donating $57 for every 3 that goes down throughout round 11. And the Flames, all smiles here. What a game. They'll be pleased, and now improves 8-8 on the regular season. And there's going to be some race for the top 4, isn't it, Perth? I mean, without Erin McDonald for the next few weeks as well, it's surely going to come down to the last round.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, and every win, every possession, everything is going to be important now as they lead into finals. So, you know, I couldn't call who's going to be the top 4 at this point, because everybody's beating everybody, and, you know, that's the beauty of this league. But, you know, hopefully we'll be able to, you know, see some teams. I'd love to see it come down to the last round and the last game. Those games are always the best.
Oh, that would be absolutely terrific, wouldn't it? It'd be exciting basketball. There's a good chance of it happening. Tiana Mungakar here is going to present the MVP for this one. Doesn't it look terrific as well? The pink hoops basketball. There's a few contenders here.
Please welcome Tiana to come and present the award to today's winner.
I would just like to thank everybody for coming here and supporting us. It's such a huge cause, and I'm so thankful for the Kings and the Flames and the Hoops Capital organisation for putting this event together. I am honoured to congratulate Kayla George as the MVP of this game.
A double-double for Kayla. 28 and 10. 3 dimes. And a deserved winner.
Thank you, Perth, for a great hit out. Tiana, you're just incredible how you go about every day with such humility and grace. You're just an inspiration to each and every one of us here on the floor, and I'm sure each and every one of us here in the stands. I'm emotional because you're just a bloody legend. I'm so proud to know you, and I just love you. Thank you.
Oh, it's great scenes here in Sydney. Kayla George did some work throughout the contest. 25 shots she took, and really when they needed a bucket, she was there to provide. What a game.
Yeah, definitely. The one that really stands out was that offensive rebound and putback that you know, really took the lead back off those free throws. And, you know, she was just huge all game. And, You could see, she always wants to win. She's the ultimate competitor, but you could just see this one meant something to her.
It did. It really did. Tess Madgen as well was one of those Flames leaders who got up for this game, returning from injury into the starting five, defended nicely. And here are the Flames, all smiles after getting the victory here, and a great success for Pink Round. Of course, another game to come as well here in Sydney, and another game of the WNBL just after this. The Flames getting the job done to the tune of 3 points right at the end of regulation over the Perth Lynx, improving to 8-8 on the regular season. Liam Ellison and Zoe Carr with you on the call. It's been a pleasure to bring this one to you here in the Harbour City. We'll see you very shortly for some more action on the Cygnett WNBL.